Twice Computers, Episode 6, Storage, Drives, and Devices. Introduction. Welcome to this episode of Twice Computers. Last time we looked at the computer's answer to short-term memory, and today we'll be looking at long-term memory, mainly storage drives, but also other storage devices. What are storage drives? Storage drives are devices which will store data even when the power to them has been turned off, unlike most forms of memory, which lose their data when they lose power. All of them can store vast amounts of data, but are slower at reading and writing the data than short-term memory. Usually storage drives connect to the motherboard via serial ATA, aka SATA cables, and ports. The power connectors are also called SATA connectors, and both can only be plugged in one way to the device you're connecting. Types of storage drives. There are three main types of storage drives: traditional hard drives, solid-state drives, and optical drives. We will now take a few moments to examine each type of storage drive. Hard drives. Hard drives are probably the type of drive you associate with storage drives the most. These are traditionally made up of platters mounted on a spindle which rotates them at high speeds. Read-write heads are positioned above each one, but they never touch the platters because doing so would damage them and prevent the platters from being able to store data. The largest hard drives out there today store up to 418 terabytes of data and cost hundreds of dollars. Though common computers sold to consumers will have a 4 terabyte drive in them as the main drive. Solid-state drives. In comparison to standard hard drives, solid-state drives have no moving parts. Instead, they use flash memory, which can retain its data even when it has no power. However, these drives are limited to a finite number of read and write operations before they are no longer able to work. This is the main disadvantage for these drives versus standard hard drives. However, they tend to be faster, produce less heat, and consume less electricity than standard hard drives. There are enterprise drives up to 15.36 terabytes out there, but recently priced consumer ones are up to 2 terabytes in size. By reasonably priced, the price is under 300 Canadian dollars per drive, or about 13.2 cents per gigabyte. Optical drives. Optical drives are pretty common these days, but they used to be a lot less common. They're smaller in size than standard hard drives or solid-state drives, but have the ability to move data from one computer to another. Some drives which accept these disks have the ability to read and or write to multiple different types of drives. These are the most commonly seen today. CD drives. The most common optical drive is the CD drive, or the compact disc drive. You probably associate the discs used in this drive with music. CDs have only one side that can be recorded on, and some discs have the ability to erase and record it, while others can just be recorded or just the data can be read from them and you can't reprogram it. The most common size of CDs is 700 megabytes. They can get up to 900 megabytes per disc. DVD drives. DVDs, or digital versatile discs, are most associated with the movie industry, though they can also be used to store data. Before online stores were common, most software for modern PCs came on a DVD. In fact, I believe you can still order the Microsoft and Linux operating systems on these disks. DVDs can store data in either single or dual layers and single or dual-sided disks. Movies often come on dual-sided disks, with one side holding the bonus features and the other side containing the movie itself. Though most movies now come with the final type of optical drive, the Blu-ray drive. The typical max storage size of a DVD is 8.5 gigabytes, and some dual-sided discs can get up to 9.4 gigabytes. Blu-ray drives. Blu-ray discs, or BD discs for short, are the newest discs on the market and have the most storage on offer. These discs are named for the color of the laser used to record and read the data. The current maximum size of discs offered is 100 gigabytes. During its development, it was opposed by the HD DVD standard, but it is now history. Other storage devices. The oldest form of long-term storage, which is still around, is the tape backup. Our types of storage devices include types of flash media, like storage cards and USB flash drives. Though these are typically used for storing images on cameras, or for moving data from one computer to another. Though the Raspberry Pi uses a micro SD card for its main storage drive. These drives are way smaller and use adapters that typically plug into a USB port to be read and written to by desktops and laptops. A good example is the aforementioned micro SD card, which is just 15mm by 11mm in size. Conclusion. In today's video, we examined how computers store data long-term via storage drives and devices. We mainly examined the different types of storage drives that computers used, but also briefly examined storage devices like USB flash drives and flash media cards. Thank you so much for your support of this series, and for those who choose to support me on Patreon. Have a blessed day, and I'll see you next time. Goodbye.